Hello, Daniel. How you doing?
Yeah, Baba, good man. How you?
I'm
Great
fine.
news, man. Um,
Uh,
it's official, so I'm kind of like over the moon right
but
now.
not
It's finally
surprised now.
official.
It's not really
No,
a
no, it's not
surprising
like
thing.
no, it's not a
We
surprise.
saw it
Like
coming. We knew they were going to extend this
everything.
contract. We're just
No,
waiting for the
for
day.
me, like it's like the dust is settled finally. You it was always reported that 1st of July was going to be like because it's like the new financial year for Premier League according to the whole FFP thing for Premier League. So um, to ensure that the whole books nothing goes into last year, so that you don't start reporting payments and all those things. So everybody sort of like waited. So it was reported largely that 1st of July would see the signing of um what's it called Ashworth. So what's it called Ben, what's his name again?
Berada.
Be-
Omar
Berada, yeah,
Berada.
Berada comes in. His gardening leave finishes in the next 2 weeks. I think he's under 2 weeks right now because we're a couple of days into this week. Um, so finally the dust is settled. The Avengers have been assembled. I think just the scouts, the scout guy signed also yesterday. Was it? No, sorry, today. His contract was confirmed. He signed today.
Yeah, the guy
His work permits.
was he the
Yeah,
one
yeah, yeah.
that signed or they shot them to?
Yeah, short them. Two summer transfers specifically, two summer transfers. So he puts pen to paper today. Uh,
Oh, keep going, keep going.
yeah, he put pen to paper today. He put pen to paper today, and so finally, the Avengers, bam, was so like confirmed right now. Haters can go and die. You know, like I'm not expecting magic to happen. So like I'm expecting 8 players to come in and whatever. No, but finally we have football administrators running football for the very first time in only God. I think it's never happened even in
Like
Manchester
12
United in
years.
history. Yeah. So like no, it never really happened. We never really had like a proper sporting director and all that stuff. Like, let's be very honest with ourselves.
Legacy
It
was
was
basically everything.
it was yeah, Ferguson and his guys. We are doing the whole thing. So I'm so very happy. Avengers well assembled. Everybody roles defined. The team. The Newcastle went to get Paul Mitchell, bruh.
Yeah, yeah,
Like,
I saw it. I saw that.
so I don't know, but like not to digress. That I feel bad. I'm like Paul Mitchell, my daddy Mitchell. Yeah, I'm big on him. I know you're also big on him,
I
but
was
like,
shocked. I'm not like you. I
I
was
was
shocked.
very shocked. I didn't see that coming. Honestly, I didn't see that coming. But then again, the agent particularly have been linked to so many players who are doing currently very well in world football. The likes of the couple of guys from Leipzig, also Haaland. Also, he was linked to Haaland and a couple of other guys. So like he has a very rich profile in terms of scouting. He knows really how to scout, and so since we are looking to play certain type of way, sort of like this high press football, front foot forward, which is actually the kind of players, the caliber of players he knows how to sign. He knows how to scout those players rather within that profile. So, also looking at Ten Hag's acceptance pitch, I like the part where he pointed out, I have agreed with the owners. We have come to terms as to how we intend to go. I'm not quoting him verbatim, but basically what he was saying is that he's agreed to terms as to with the Ineos obviously as to
The truth is
direction
that
to go.
this okay, sorry for interrupting, but the truth is that this statement I was not really surprised. You know why?
Yeah, no,
Ten Hag has worked with people like this at Ajax.
obviously,
He
no,
worked with
obviously,
he worked with the sporting
Ajax,
director, his CEO, and everything. But I believe that the reason why he did that, I want to control everything at Manchester United, was because he studied Manchester United and found out that there were a lot of things going on at Manchester United that were very wrong, and he felt, no, I can't work in this kind of
you
environment.
could
So
you
I have to
if
accept
you
everything. I have to
remember
control everything.
when Darren Fletcher and what's this guy flew to Netherlands, the meeting they had with him, which was it was after that meeting
John Motto.
John Motto. It was after the meeting that they called off whatever they had scheduled with Pochettino. That meeting, yeah, they said that when they went in that meeting, Erik was educating them on Manchester United. They were surprised as to how much of research he has done in the club. He knew so much about the club. He was able to enumerate a couple of issues that, and I think that was part of why he was able to, if you like, strong arm them, and was able rather to get that kind of contract where he sort of like was vetoing everything as to players, what player comes in, what player leaves, their training structure, what style of football is being played, or whatever. But right now, a proper footballing, institution is being set up. So just as you pointed out, he's worked with like this in Bayern Munich, in Ajax, obviously a football institution. Ajax, all of us know that Ajax is a proper footballing institution. So like, I'm very happy actually. So now we can move forward now as to signing of players. And that thing, honestly, I like the way the Ineos have actually been approaching transfer, right? I like the fact that with Brentwaite, look, you're taking this, you're not going more than 45 million quid. And you guys don't want you can't, nobody's doing, we're not doing 70 million quid for Brentwaite. But we pull out immediately.
You know that they are renovating the tunnel.
Yeah. I saw it 2 days ago. But they are going to be, denying the female, team a couple of things, which is actually have sprung up a couple of grievances and all here and there. A couple of players from the female football side, saying they are leaving, they're not resigning. And no, I understand. I'm saying like I'm further going. Carrington is being renovated, obviously.
Yeah.
So they are having to deny the £10 million recently renovated women training center. They're having to ask the women to move for the main tier of all that. But like, so the female team is like, oh, there's much neglect, no plans for us. You've just been speaking about like, but if you really look at it, they have to fix the major source of the income, which is the male side. It's actually the male side that generates the revenue. So if you don't feel, you can't go side by side saying you're fixing both of them, because it's mega millions of money. And let's remember that it's Ineos money that's coming. It's Sergeant Ratcliffe money that's coming in first off. He's not even coming with profits yet. This is just like initial investment. So like when people speak, I see a lot of emotions. People don't speak like businessmen. Why are you guys speaking in such manner when you had owners who cared less even? So that you're seeing someone at the first.
He dropped 133 million. Was it some days back? I'm not very sure about the price, but I think it's about.
No, I think it's about. It's 130 million quid. Yeah, that was. I think that was 3 days ago. Yeah. On Monday specifically. Yeah. So yeah, honestly, I'm so very happy.
30 million for what? What are they? What does he want them to do with the 130 million? What are they?
It's basically towards renovations, remodeling. Everything that has to just do with making, upgrading, the standards and qualities of the training areas, facilities, and I think the main board, the pitch is not included. Just certain areas in Old Trafford. I'm hearing also like all the toilets and all those things, because they are still not sure whether they're moving from Old Trafford or they're going to sell Old Trafford or
would you like
whatever.
them to move away from Old Trafford?
I
don't want them to move from Old Trafford.
Yeah,
I want them to move from Old Trafford.
The rich history. I understand where he's coming from, and I've been at Old Trafford now. I've been to Old Trafford thrice. There's quite a lot of there's ample space if you really want to expand Old Trafford. There's actually space, but I want to believe there's it's going to alter certain planning, obviously, and probably certain things that have been designed for the future. Yeah. So, but if you're talking about aerial space, there's quite a lot of space in Old Trafford to expand Old Trafford and say maybe add a couple extra, even 20,000 seats, probably pushing it to about 100,000 seats or something like that. So yeah, I'm happy, honestly. So I just want to see the guys coming. So
if they want to expand,
if
they want to expand Old Trafford, it's going to affect that train track.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Setting things on ground, and then also looking at, but like moving. I'm also open to whatever we can move. Yeah, in history, yeah, but like histories are written one day. It's also part of the history. Yeah, it's also part of history at XYZ 2024, 2027. At what time we move from Old Trafford? It's still part of the the history of the club. I will move to the new mega stadium. Nah, I don't know, but like whatever. That's for them to figure out. But like for me, I'm indifferent. As long as it's gonna, reflect on the pitch. you understand, like it's going to lead to, the club coming back to where it used to be, where it's competing at the very top with the very best, teams and players against very best players, across Europe. So Matthews deletes. I understand the whole concerns. Myself, I'm not. Yeah, I'm not big. I'm not entirely big. It's not like an exciting signing. Yeah, for me, I understand. He's just 24.
He's got is he not an upgrade on Maguire?
Hold on. I'm getting there. He is obviously an upgrade, but then he's 24. He played 30 games last season. 30 games. I was actually very surprised when I was looking at the stats because he didn't look at like he played up to 30 games last season. I actually thought that he was out for longer than he was. Like, and he played in some very important games as like the Champions League final against Arsenal Football Club. He came on. He did well. And a larger chunk of the Bayern fans, the atmosphere in Germany, they are like, why are you selling Matthijs de Ligt and you've got this guy, this black guy? He's very erratic. This guy who makes a lot of mistakes. Yeah, Upamecano. Yeah, so like a section of the German, what's it called, the Bayern Munich fans, which is believed to be like the larger, chunk of them are like, why are you, letting go of this guy where you actually have someone who is lesser and all that. But whatever the case, for me, 50 million euros as reported, it's a bargain. It's quite a very.
No, I think it's lower than that.
No. What the Bayern Munich actually requested 50 million euros, but then what the Ineos Group are saying, we're going to make that up we're giving about 35 million euros. I'm going to make up the rest in add-ons. That's actually where they are. So for a big concern again for a chunk of the Manchester United fans is this. The concern around his wages. He's reported currently to be on about 220 to 230,000 euros a week. That's bringing you to somewhere around 200,000, 210,000 pounds a week. 215,000 pounds there about each year a week. That's too much money considering the fact that we're talking about not exactly pegging the wage cap, but like sort of like not overpaying these guys, because that has been the case in the last couple of years, just dishing up money, and you're looking to get him on a 5-year contract. So if you get him on a 5-year contract and you're paying him that massive money, what happens if he doesn't do well in the next 2 years or 2.5 years? He becomes an extra burden because of obviously his wage concerns, like what we're facing currently with Sancho, exactly what we're facing also with Casemiro and all that. So Casemiro still got like 3 years in his contract because Casemiro also signed on a 5-year deal. So these are the concerns from some sections of the Manchester United fans as currently being reported. So which for me are very valid if you ask me, considering the fact that he's obviously an upgrade. I looked at his statistics also. He's excellently well. He's on the A grade in terms of aerial duels. I never even knew he was that physical. I looked across Netherlands. I looked across when his time at Juventus and currently at Bayern Munich. Something again that actually caught my interest was the fact that he was Ajax's captain at 19.
Yeah,
so
19,
that speaks. Yeah. So that speaks also of
his leadership.
Yeah, obviously, yeah, his leadership quality, because we're crying out for leadership currently. So now you're looking at more like he playing alongside Licha and the goalkeeper Onana, whom he played alongside in Netherlands. So that's like they know themselves. They played together before. So obviously they should understand themselves. But that's not to say that we're not expecting him to maybe struggle because of the pace, the physicality of the Premier League. Premier League is very dynamic. We're expecting him to be at the receiving end in his early days. Obviously, that's expected, and
just like we're
going to forgive him for that. But I'm looking at the larger picture. I'm not overly excited, but obviously he's an upgrade. He's an upgrade because he's got legs. He's got races in his legs. He's physical. He's also going to be important in as to how we build up from the back, because he's good also with the ball on his feet. So yeah, but then again, if you look at some of the most decent central backs currently in the Premier League, um Neves of Manchester City. Sorry, is it Neves? What's his name again? The Portuguese guy, Portuguese defender
Yes.
in Manchester City, Ruben Dias rather. And then you're also looking at Van Dijk. Okay, Gabriel. I know Saliba is quite pacey. Gabriel's got pace in him, but like if you look at these guys, they're not really the fastest guys, but they pride themselves in positioning. So they're aware of where they are at every point. Almost at every point. To perfection. You understand? And so these are the things that I looked at, and but I'm particularly very interested about his injuries. In the last two years, he has actually struggled around, fitness. So that's actually a major concern for me, because considering we've got like Luke Shaw, you can trust Luke Shaw. But then if his arrival is actually going to mean the exit of Lindelof, I'm very happy. I actually I want to see Kambwala stay. I want to see Kambwala end more minutes. I want to see him given the chance in Carling Cups and in FA Cups, in cup games. I want to see him given the chance, to come on as a sub.
Ten Hag, like the lad, Ten Hag doesn't really rotate like that. Him.
I understand that, but like you have a guy with such mentality as Kambwala's. Kambwala actually is, for me, one of those young lads whom you see him. Manchester United is playing, he's warming up, and he's heralding the fans. Like, he's playing or he's not playing, he just loves the club. You listen to his interview, the last one, prior to the FA Cup final, where he was like, "I'm Manchester United true and true." For me, when I wanted to sign, it was no other club but Manchester United. I tell my head, Manchester United, like that. People, he was asked, his attitude around, supporting his teammates. You see the way he's always cheering for Ahmad, Kobe Mino, and Ganacho. You see the way he's always heralding the fans, chanting. Even during the games, he's also singing the whole "Glory, Glory, Manchester United" and whatever with the fans, and like as a fanboy. So you need those kind of guys in the dressing room. You need those kind of support system, because the truth here is that we fail to understand something in football right now. Most of us are always gearing towards status. Let's not forget that you have those guys who are fringe players, in quotes, who make up the squad. You've got Babatov's energy, his mentality, his presence. You've got Chicharito. These guys weren't starters, but their presence. Danny Welbeck in his right. So like you've got these guys, whom weren't everyday starters. John O'Shea, but then their presence in the roster, they've got this thing about it. They have this charisma. They really want to play football and they want to play for the club. So for me, it's not entirely right that obviously everybody can start, but we shouldn't do away with certain profile of players. So for me as an individual, I hope Kampala stays in the club. He's a positive also for his peers, the younger guys. I'm sure he's kind of guy who goes like, "Oh boy, guy, like gear up, my guy, go," and all that. "I trust you," and all that stuff. So you need him. And the lad really
they've
wants to play.
extended Ten Hag's contract now, giving him 2 years, and he's going to be at Manchester United until 2026.
Yeah,
2026. What do you expect from Ten Hag now? Because
the
fact that they've given him extra 2 years doesn't mean they can't get rid of him if he starts messing
up. Obviously, it takes nothing actually.
So Ten Hag needs to grab the bull by the horn and start challenging from the first game of the season.
Like I said in our previous recordings, I said I want to see a more proactive Ten Hag. I want to see a Ten Hag on top of things. I want to see him on the front foot. I no longer want to see a Ten Hag who is sort of like he always sits like he's shy, like he's not sure of himself entirely. You can beg, in his case, to say he wasn't entirely sure of the whole situation surrounding the whole drama, particularly in the last 8 months or thereabouts, from the whole selling of a portion of the club, the Ineos group coming on, the whole drama with Sancho, all these things. So I actually want to see a Ten Hag on the front foot. I want to see a very bold, vocal Ten Hag. I actually want to see a Ten Hag again who is going to be up against the media, who is going to know when to shush the media, who's going to know when to joke with the media, who's actually going to be in charge. He's going to call the shots right now, because obviously you're now with a team who are saying we are building together. This is our direction we want to go. So, because what this is actually going to do, like I pointed out the other time, it's actually going to send a direct message to the players on the roster. It's no longer about you shaming the coach. It's about you shaming an institution. So if you are the sport egg, obviously you'll be getting rid of. So you be sure that you're leaving. They'll be getting rid of you. You're actually going to leave, the football club largely. So that sort of like settles everywhere. It sort of like gives Erik, the go ahead right now to stamp his authority. So I actually want to see that from him. I'll be looking out for some of the training sessions this season. I want to go and watch. I want to see what it's like, what's the atmosphere is like in their training sessions. I want to see the boys. I want to see how happy they are. But right now, Avengers, they set up the Avengers. I think the next step is players in. More than in, I'll be very honest with you.
I was having a discussion
more
with
than in. I need outs more than in. I need players outs. I want to see outs. I want to see.
But you know that Manchester United is the club that finds it difficult to sell. I don't know why. I don't know why.
We fall in love. We fall in love with our players so much so that we become too connected that we can't let go. So I want to see Lindelof leave. I want to see Scott McTominay leave. Maguire can stay. Obviously, Maguire, for me, he has earned the right to stay. But like Lindelof, there's no point renewing Lindelof's contract. He has to stay. You can wait until probably the first 3 months by November, December, and see if you are going to, offer Wan-Bissaka maybe a 2 or 3 year deal.
No. Wan-Bissaka shouldn't stay. They should sell back.
But I'm just saying. But for me,
don't even say it.
Leaves.
Don't say it. Wan-Bissaka needs to be sold.
What's
get another right back. Wan-Bissaka needs to be sold. Get another right back.
Leaves. Eriksen leaves. Eriksen leaves. Look, these things, they have to be prompt and like scoop whatever you can scoop out of these guys. Obviously, they are not going to give us much money in the market, but like that's our loss. Cut the loss and move on. So I want to see exits rather. Most importantly, I want to see exits. I need to see players leaving. Most importantly, that's it for me. And more than ins, I need to see outs. Because we need to clear the space, honestly.
I was having a discussion with somebody, and I said, one of Ten Hag's major problems, it's not that Ten Hag is a bad coach. Ten Hag is a good coach. Well, yeah, it's just that he came into limelight at a very
advanced age.
Yeah.
I think it was already
not like Guardiola that started when he was 38. Ten Hag, people started knowing Ten Hag when he was in his late 40s. That's, if I'm not mistaken.
But before then, I think about 36 or thereabout, he had already started working with big clubs, though.
He worked at big clubs. I'm talking about when people started asking questions like, "Who is this guy?" Who is this guy?
I think it was after he left Bayern. When he
2019, when he took that Ajax team to the semi-final, people were not like, "Who is this guy? Who is this guy?" But I was having a discussion with somebody, and I told him that I feel Ten Hag's problem, one of his major problems, is articulation. I don't know if you agree with me.
His English is not fluent.
But I think how he puts it, how he's going to put it out to these players, I think he confuses them. That's just my take. I feel that thing is Ten Hag's problem. If I
understand you,
if I'm Manchester United, I think I'll get him an English teacher.
So if I understand you, you are basically saying about his articulation doesn't really,
he doesn't
send home. He doesn't send home the message.
Yeah, he doesn't send his message well. Yeah, to the players. And I think if I'm Manchester United, I think I'll get him an English teacher to teach him well.
Yeah, that could be the case. That could be the case, obviously, because when he's speaking, he has a lot of like ad libs and all that. So he's actually not that fluent in his English. So
I watched a video of Ten Hag at Ajax, and when he was speaking Dutch, and the way he was sending the orders out, I was like, okay, it was very clear. The players understood what he was saying. But at Manchester United, his English, he's not putting it out well.
He doesn't sound like someone.
I just feel that way.
Yeah, it's a thing, honestly, right? It's a thing. Because if you remember, what's his name? The Aston Villa coach currently.
Yeah, Emery. Yeah, exactly.
Emery.
Is an example.
Emery had the issue in Arsenal, And also, when he signed for Aston Villa, his first season, if you look at his interviews now and compare them with what it was when he signed for Arsenal, his English has improved massively.
Yeah.
He's more fluent. He's more would I call it aware or composed rather, and he sort of like portrays, whatever it is, sends his message out better. So like I can agree with you that language, obviously, language barrier is a thing, and so it could be honestly, you actually can't entirely go away with that. It could be, and I'll be very honest with you because like these English lads, the truth about these guys is that they have this thing about them where they are not entirely so receptive of foreign languages. So like it's
was
not
saying
really like
when Gardner was
so
speaking with Onana, he said that English people are the laziest when it comes to learning languages.
Yeah, honestly, that's the thing. That's the thing. I experience it even, at my place of work, particularly. Like, so they feel once you don't entirely speak as fluent and as eloquent as they themselves or whatever, like there's that thing about how they communicate with you. Yeah. So like you could make a case and it's valid, honestly, right? It's valid.
So where do you feel Ten Hag will finish next season?
I said something
I'll not lie
earlier.
to you. I'll not lie to you. I want Ten Hag to
I,
coach Manchester United. Like I want to see Man U play like the way his Ajax played.
I want to see. I made a bold proclamation. If you remember, a couple months ago, I said nothing below third.
Man United
Very
win the
bold.
Super League and FA Cup.
And this is it. This is it for me, right? I actually want to see. I want to see the outs, and then want to see the ins. I was looking at the Zesky guy. I have actually not really watched the Zesky guy, but I looked at the Zesky guy the last couple of days. He's not exactly gonna score the goals, but he's gonna lead to the goals. So, like, I just hope Manchester United fans know what we are getting. We're actually not getting a 25 goals, 20 goals a season lad, but we're getting that guy who was, let me say, a Danny Welbeck. There's something about Danny Welbeck where most people didn't understand his importance in Manchester United at the time. He was that lad whom his presence was almost a guaranteed goal or assist. That was one thing about Danny. A very, very big fan of Danny Welbeck, myself, through the years. And up until today in Brighton, I'm a huge fan of Danny Welbeck. So I just hope Manchester United fan knows that you've got that Zesky guy who is good on the ball retention, dribbling, pacey. He's a good kicker of the ball, a very decent kicker of the ball. But I just hope we understand that we are not getting a killer. I'm talking like that 20-25 goals guy, but we're getting a guy who is, so to say, going to unlock or going to be like that link between the midfield and the central forward. Because currently part of the struggle is that there's no fluidity from the middle of the park to Højlund. It's entirely not fluid. We struggle with playing him into the right channels, good passes, and the timing of the passes again is another thing. We talked about this thing a couple of times. Sometimes the passes come in too early, sometimes they come in too late, and sometimes they don't even come in at all. They cut his runs and all that. So I just hope Manchester United understand that that's the guy. Manchester United fans rather understand that that's the kind of the player profile of the guy that we are trying to get. So it's not like we're getting someone who is entirely going to sit Højlund on the bench. There are some kind of games where you're going to have to play both of them. You're going to have those kind of games where he's going to come in. You're probably even going to have the games where he's going to play as an 11. He's going to come in from the flanks. Those kind of thing. Yeah. So yeah, that's it. But like, we need that kind of guy. The profiles of, with all due respect, I'm not comparing them. The Teveses of this world. I'm not comparing. I'm not saying he's anything close to them. The Teveses of this world. The Luis Suarez's of the world, those guys who are like just gonna be like, all over the defenders, who have energy. I guess, man, we miss him more. Fred, I know, sad Fred.
Okay, yeah. Finally, before we go, there are rumors coming out that There are Ineos who listen to offers for Marcus Rashford. You want Marcus Rashford gone? You want them to sell him?
Yeah.
Because Rashford has
I've
one season form off. He goes off the next season. Then the third
But
season.
I've said, yeah, I heard his brother. I read rather today. Was it today? Yeah, I think it was earlier this morning on my way to work. Yeah, I read that his brother, obviously, who is his agent, his older brother, was in a meeting with the Ineos group, and I think he tabled certain things about, you know, and then I think he was clearly in the meeting. The agreement was that if they see a good offer, willing to let him go. But for me, the only place I see him going is PSG. And for me, a move to PSG at this point in time is a weak move for him. This is the wrong time to go to PSG because obviously they're not winning anything in PSG right now. You've got Dembele on the other side and just a couple of players. And so he would have gone Bayern, but it's late already. Bayern's got like Olise, Bayern's got Harry Kane. I think who's the other guy? Oh, just got this young lad, Musiala. So obviously he's not going to sit Musiala on the bench. Musiala currently is world favorite. So it's so I don't know where he's looking to go at this time. Obviously not Real Madrid because there's no space for him. There's Mbappe, and on the right flank, you know, the other man. So for me, I'm actually very indifferent. Like Rashford, it was earlier in the week or was it over the weekend? I sort of like went back again. I was watching, you know, the Academy Arena, particularly Marcus Rashford, and I was so moved. I got so emotional. Like this was the lad we saw. Like the confidence, the way he was always taking out on players. You know, his confidence to shoot, and I was like, where's it? You know, over the years, he sort of like gone missing, and like, you know, the whole knuckle shots, you saw him drive on the left wing, dribble past 2, 3 players, cut in, and then shoot those 20, 25 yarders. And like, I was like, yeah, all these things. You saw he was very direct. He was very direct, you know, as a younger player. And I think that was another thing we saw in him when, you know, Louis van Gaal introduced him when, you know, he was the lanky guy he was very direct against Arsenal. If you go see that game where his debut, where he scored those the brace rather, he was very direct, and I was like, where has all this gone? Where has all this gone? But you know, a lot of things can be attributed to that, you know, his mental states and all that. But let me borrow the words of Roy Keane. This is your job. Do it. It's your job. It's your job. Because like the janitor is doing their job. They also have their life issues. They're doing their job. The groundsman is doing his job. The guys who are in charge of lighting, the guys who are, you know, the on-pitch announcers, everybody's doing their job. Their commentators are doing their job. The pundits, the head coach, everybody's doing their job. So like, do your job. This is what you paid for. You know, you put your emotions, set it aside, come to the pitch and do your job. And do your job. Yeah, yeah. So like, I'm indifferent. If he leaves, fine. Like, it's not the end of the world. We've got options. Yeah.
So you want to rely on Garnacho to play that left wing for you for 38 games. 38 games.
We're going to get options. Obviously, if Rashford is leaving, players are like look, there are players around the world. Like he's not going to be the first exit. Like, so I'm indifferent. He leaves, he stays. Like careless. I'll be honest.
Let's see how it goes. Congratulations, Erik. It's not really a surprise, but we're happy he's done.
No, it's not a surprise, but finally,
he can focus. He can focus on
every
the job.
guy can relax and do the job. Yeah. So there's the bottle has been sealed now. The cap has been placed. The bottle has been sealed right now. So you know the dust is settled, and you know he can swing to action now. Yeah. So right, I'm very excited. Yeah, the last piece of the Avengers, pop, knocked in. Let's go.
All right, now. Thanks for joining me.
Yeah, man. I'm so optimistic about the oncoming season. I don't know. Sugar rush.
My target for you, just win the Europa League. I don't want FA Cup again. Win the Europa League.
It's gonna be like a big challenge, you know. But let's see.
I want
outs. I want to see players out.
Europa League, automatic ticket to Champions League.
I want to see. Let's stop looking for shortcuts. Win it and qualify for Champions League. Do it in a boss way. Don't give me those permutations. I don't need that. But like, I'll be very honest. Like, I'm not expecting everything to change. You know, like in one season. But the most important thing is the foundation, which is, setting up of the structure, having all these guys in place and having a clear map as to, what is intended and a direction, as to how to go about and achieving that. That's most important for me. So for me, the next step now is outs. More than ins, we need outs. We need to get these deadwoods out. Not less than 5-6 lads today. I think three. Oh, no, okay. Marshall and Varane is gone now. So John Evans, is he being renewed? I'm hearing they want to offer him one more season.
I think they're trying to find the 1 year.
I think they're comparing. They're not so sure. Want to offer him one more season to stay. So I'm not sure about that yet. And then I think that will be 3 of them. So if Lindelof goes, Eriksen goes, Scott McTominay leaves, that's 6, cleared, and we see where we go from there. I would hope Luke Shaw leaves, but I don't think, because he's like Erik ten Hag's one of his trusted allies.
Let me tell you something before we end this meeting. Let me tell you something. I don't see Manchester United selling McTominay. So that's all. That's just what I will tell you. Good night. that would mean that probably maybe they didn't get a reasonable offer, because this is the right time to get out a good 45 million quid from that lad. Look. When was the last time we made money on sales? We struggle, Fred. I think we got like 12 million quid from Fred. Was it 12 or 18 million quid from Fred? We struggle. We struggle to sell players for even 25, 30 million quid. Bro, no. You need money. I'm hearing that for transfers, they've got like way under 100 million quid. And so how do you intend to do it? You've got to sell. Look, it's going to be like that marriage that has to end. It has to end. Yeah. All right, man. Cheers, man. Right. Thank you for having me. Have a good evening. Yeah.